You're tuned in to the Brand Ambassador Select Podcast.
Welcome back to the Brand Ambassador Select Podcast. I'm your host, Lenore. For first-time listeners, this is the place where we help educate and build influence while making an impact on many lives. So remember to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode and all the wonderful information we're going to be sharing with you today. So it's very easy to get into debt. I'm a sucker for Instagram ads, not gonna lie. That's how I rack up my credit card bill and, everything on Amazon. And I don't mind sharing that because I'm not the only one that is currently in debt, no matter how big or how small. But problems arise is once you create thousands and thousands of dollars in debt, and then it takes maybe years or decades to get yourself out of it. So to help relieve our debt, I invited our friend, founder and CEO of DebtGo, Ernest Pereira, to today's show. So after overcoming his own financial struggles with debt early in his life, Ernest is on a mission to help others conquer their own debt. That led to the creation of the app, DebtGo, free and easy, and it helps users pay off their debt. So Ernest, welcome to the show.
Lenore, thanks so much for having me. Excited to be here today.
So tell us a little bit about the app. How did you get started with it?
Yeah, so DebtGo really came out of, my life, looking at how I paid off my debt, looking at the struggle I went through, and really just trying to find a way to kind of help other people. So we created this app, and the mission of the company is to just end the world's debt crisis and create a financially literate society.
How do we do that?
Yeah, so it's pretty simple. Once you download the app, you log in, you watch 15 to 30-second videos. They're all about financial education, teaching you how to, balance debt, kind of just really, putting you into that world of finance and say, like, how do I manage my own personal financial life? You watch those. For everyone you watch, you get 1 point, and that point enters you into our daily drawing, where we basically pay your debt if you win. So the more videos you watch, the more chances you have to win.
So I have 5 points, right?
That's right.
Is that $5?
So not exactly. So 5 points would give you 5 chances to win.
Yeah.
So if you basically, that means you've watched 5 videos, you've learned 5 times, and those 5 chances give the opportunity to win our contest. It's like 5 different lottery tickets.
So I have 5 points. Do I have to use all 5 points this week, or can I do it every other day?
Yeah, so right now, everything you watch that day automatically enters you into the contest. In the future, the app will definitely allow you to kind of separate your points into the days you want them to be in. But right now, yeah, it's what you use that day is how many chances you get to win.
So what kind of videos are these? You said it was to help educate us with our finances. Are they advertisements or are they actually educational videos?
Yeah, so a lot of it is, branded stories kind of with companies who are saying, hey, look, this is how we help you financially. These are the kind of things we're doing to give back to the community. Some videos are actually financial education videos. So it'll teach you about what is a 401k? What is an IRA? What's the best way to pay down my debt? Like what kind of debts are out there? Like what can I do to kind of help myself? And other videos are simply to just help you maybe even get a better job. So we let companies come on and they can offer you different types of, roles with their companies, things that can just, give you the financial means to take yourself out of debt.
Okay, I'm on the app. Yay! I won the lottery today. Yay!
Right.
So what did I win?
Yeah, so essentially you won money. Basically, we contact you, we get in touch with you, and we say, hey, where do you want us to pay this money towards? And you tell us, hey, look, I have debt with Great Lakes, it's student loans. Hey, I have this credit card bill with Visa. Hey, I have, this car loan. Can you pay it off? And we say, hey, hell yeah, that's what we're here to do.
So do you give me the money to pay for that, or do you automatically somehow get it into whatever account that is?
Yeah, so we send you the money directly through one of the many, apps that are out there, or we can get on the phone with you and pay it with you. It's really your choice. We kind of give you that power to tell us how to help you.
And it doesn't matter what type of debt. So can I pay my mortgage, my store credit cards?
Yeah, so any type of debt you have, we can really pay that debt for you. So, it's credit card debt, medical bills, it's mortgages, like any debt you have that you can imagine we want to pay. But if you're asking me to pick a specific group that we're trying to help, I would say that we're really trying to help those people who are struggling with student debt. So this is a population of 35 million Americans who are trying to pay off $1.6 trillion of debt. So it's a humongous number. It's not easy, and it's something that's just really creating this economic hold on the economy, and people aren't able to get past it. So we'd love to help those people.
Now, is every day the amount of money you're giving away, does it change? Or is it consistent?
Yeah, so the more users we have, the more money we give away. It's literally based on how many videos are watched that day. And we have sponsors that come in and kind of provide us with, extra funds for the day. But yeah, the more users we have, the more money we give away. And we give out 70% of the money that comes in. So it's huge. And, the rest of it goes towards helping people learn about finance. That's what it's all about.
When does it drop?
So September 2020 is when we're coming out. We're going to be in Google Play and we're going to be in the App Store. So we're really excited about that. And we're also working on a web app. So if you don't have Google Play or the App Store somehow, you'll be able to still use DebtGo.
So that reminds me of like somebody who's not like, tech savvy.
That's right.
So it doesn't matter who you are. There's no like age to be on this app?
Yeah, so for right now, it's 17 plus.
Oh, well,
yeah.
I mean, I get that. I was going more like older.
Yeah, no, so honestly, we encourage people who are, a little bit older, like later in their life to use this app. So it's really sad because a lot of the times, parents even take out money to help pay down, their children's debt, help take out money to pay out their student loans, to finance their college, to finance their car. And, this takes away from their retirement. So, today's student debt crisis is tomorrow's retirement crisis. So really any age group is able to use DebtGo to really help pay off their debt. And, we encourage that. Our market is typically, about 18 years old to 35, but we encourage anybody who's older to use DebtGo because it's free money to pay down your debt.
So this is your baby. This is your creation. Where did it get started? What sparked the idea?
Yeah, so, really when I started, paying down my debt, I looked at the options and I said, how can I do this? Like I had, over $50,000 in student loans and I was like, I'm getting this job where I'm making, starting out of college, like $45,000. Like how am I going to do this? How will I live? How will I, make this happen?
Plus a car, plus insurance, plus fun.
It's crazy. Yeah. Fun, entertainment, life, going out to eat. Yeah, it's crazy. And I started thinking like, what are my options out there? So, you could apply for this student loan forgiveness, which, after all these years, they may or may not pay off your debt if you follow all the rules. You can fill out mountains of paperwork and possibly get some forgiveness, but who has time for that? And then sometimes exactly. You're a victim of the system. You try your best to pay, but you don't know all the rules and you end up accruing more interest. And I was like, I'm not satisfied with these options out there. But for me, like I was lucky in life, I started working in the corporate world. I was able to pay down a lot of my debt and create this, financially stable future for myself and for my life. And then I started thinking like, how can I help other people though? Like other people may not get so lucky. And so I was like, let's create an app that can do this. And it just came to me. I was like, DebtGo, like take CPM revenue, give it back to the people.
Go back.
Yeah.
What's CPM?
Yeah. So
I'm not in my family, I'm not afraid to say this. I am not not the finance person. I'm not the business. I got my dad and I got my brother. And then like when my dad goes away, I'm like, Joey, everything is to you. Like I'm coming to you. So what were those acronyms?
Yeah. So CPM is really like cost per milli. It's really, if you're ever scrolling through any type of your social media platforms and you see a video that's an ad, so to speak, that's an impression. And when you watch that, the company that's showing it gets paid. So for us, we looked at it as like, what if we can do that with, financial education, like jobs for people? What if we can do it with something that's helping people versus just, hey, buy my product? And we thought, let's do that. Let's do that. We can get people to sponsor this. We can get them to help. Companies want to give back and we just give them the platform to do it. And at the same time, we're teaching you about finance and financial literacy. And that's, again, what it's all about. What
are some of the tips that you have from your experience of getting out of your own debt for the listeners out there?
Yeah, so definitely you want to make sure you pay down your debt as quickly as possible. So saving, definitely important. Making sure you're budgeting, definitely important. But if you're in debt, sometimes it's like impossible to climb out if you're not really contributing to that interest payment. So, interest sometimes a month, it can compound daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, quarterly, like any type of way that it can compound, it just grows and grows and grows. So you want to make sure you get out of that as quickly as possible. And the best way to start to do that is to kind of create a budget for yourself so that you can really, know what you're doing and know about your personal financial world.
So my research of Minimal has showed me that if I pay, say, either my mortgage, my car payments, my credit card, whatever the case may be, more a month, like maybe do it bi-weekly instead of just once a month, that helps. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, definitely. So again, I'm not a financial advisor, so take it all with a grain of salt. But what worked for me was with my student loans. It's like these are compounding every single day. So at one point, I know my daily interest was $8.70 a day, and I was like, this is ridiculous. That's like lunch or breakfast. You know what I mean? So what I noticed was like I was making my one monthly payment close to $1,000, but that whole time between from when I made that payment until my next payment, it was accruing. So I started to think like, if I just pay every 2 weeks, or if I just pay, one extra payment every other month, it made a huge impact because it saved me all those different interest payments. So that definitely helps.
So you have to have a team behind you, right? How did you figure out who to bring into your inner circle to help kind of spread the knowledge?
Yeah, so I'm really lucky. Like I have a lot of great people around me. A lot of my friends, my girlfriend, like everyone's really helping us, kind of spread the word about DebtGo, get it out there using our social media platforms. And we were able to work with this great development team in New York, HubSpire, who kind of really, just is helping us connect so many different people and so many different networks. So we've been pretty lucky to, have a lot of good people around us to kind of spread the word about this.
So let me just ask, this is free money?
Free money.
Free money.
That's right.
Like no jokes, no nothing, no like hashtag fake news over here.
None of that.
Like all free.
All free, yeah. All you have to do, if you have 30 seconds a day, we can pay your debt. That's pretty much that simple. Yeah, no catch here.
How else would you like to educate, not just our peers, because your app's going to do that, but with the younger generation as well? What would you like to see implemented into, say, the education system?
Yeah, so what's really scary for me, and what I hear from a lot of people, they make that joke like, oh, I don't know how to do my taxes, but I know the, mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Like, I always hear that all the time. And I think
I'm one of them. Yeah. I did my taxes for the first time, half by myself this year. So like usually dad takes care of it all. And I'm like, oh, go ahead, you do your thing. Again, I said I'm not the financial savvy person in my family. But this year I used like an online service and it was a little bit more difficult than gosh, I had my fiance help me with it because it's not as easy.
It's not. And it's scary to me that so many people, don't understand that and don't know how to do that, but it's not uncommon, right? Like most of the population, I would argue, doesn't do it for themselves. They have someone do it for them. And that's cool. That's taxes. But what I'd like to see is, more emphasis on financial education at younger ages. When you're in grammar school, that's not too early. When you're in middle school, you're getting a little late in the game. When you're in high school, like you need to know budgeting. You need to understand your personal financial world and what you're gonna do. Because sometimes, mom and dad aren't there to help. Sometimes, you got to figure that out on your own. And the best way to do that is just immerse yourself in this world. But if the education systems in this country would just create greater emphasis on financial education early on, it would develop these, healthy habits for these young people.
Did you happen to have any of that stuff in your school system? Because the only thing I think I remember, it was like 7th grade, and it was, when you rotate through the different electives, it was like cooking class, and then the other half was how to balance a checkbook. And I think that was the extensive financial stuff I think I learned at that young of an age through school.
Yeah, so here and there, kind of similar to you, a little bit. But really in high school was when I finally took a class on how to do your taxes. And it was just an elective. I had no math classes left. I was like, I guess I'll try this out and learn a little bit. That was the first time, and that was senior year. So that's, yeah, that's pretty scary.
Yeah, I didn't have financial literacy specifically as an elective. I think by the time I graduated high school, my school district ended up implementing it. So every freshman had no choice, had to take that. So my youngest brother, he's like, oh, I got to take this class. And I was like, well, did you learn anything?
Fair enough. Yeah. It's important, and it's meant to be learned about, and we need to know this because, every person in the world has to deal with their finances. So it's, you got to start young.
So what are some advice that you have for, say, your peers and, anybody listening to budget their lives?
Yeah, so I would say, figure out what works for you. So everybody's different, right? Some people like, pen and paper. Some people like to use a phone app. Some people like to do it in Excel, right? For me, I do all three of those things. I have an app that I track all my spending in. I have my Excel sheet that, I track all my years spending in. And I still use pen and paper sometimes. And that's just me. But everyone needs to figure out really what works for them, because that's the first step to kind of creating, a financial world that works for you. And so it's important to get that done and really track your spending, because one of the scariest things for me is if you ask somebody and don't even ask for a number, but just say hey, what's your budget? And most of the time people are just well, I know I'm not spending more than I'm making, but I don't really have one. And I'm just oh man, this is not good. And that's most of the people that I've seen. And I just wish that we could help these people and kind of give them that balance and that direction.
Now this conversation, for you and I talking is pretty easy, right? But when you have a conversation about finances, it's not always the easiest way. How do you bring it up? Because it's difficult. You're not going to go to the bar and just be like, hey, Johnny, how are your finances doing today?
It's awkward, right? So it's not an easy question, even if it's your family, right? You talk to them and you're how's everything going? Or a question will come up. And it's like, how do I even answer this? Like, a lot of times you don't want people to know what you make. You don't want them to know like what you're doing. And like, I get that. Like, I'm there with it. I understand that. But I don't know, to bring it up to somebody, I would just say, you know, be relaxed about it and say, hey, look, you know, ask for advice for your life. Like, what are you doing to budget? Like, how do you do it? And that'll kind of like, you know, help you approach that topic and kind of help you, you know, confidently go into it and say, listen, like, this is what worked for me. This is what I'm doing. You know, sometimes they're having debt and they're talking about, just say, like, talk about different strategies, talk about using DebtGo to like kind of, you know, pay your debt off, anything like that. I mean, anything in general that you can really just kind of talk about to bring out the conversation helps, because like you said, it's tough to talk about finances, and it's not unique. It's not a unique problem. Like, everybody's going through it.
Yeah, and the debt could be as little as like, I have $3,000 on my credit card, or I have like $300,000 on credit card A, B, my car, this house, that house, you know, I'm paying for school.
It's insane. I mean, like the average person that graduates, so 70% of college graduates have some type of student loans, and the average that they graduate from undergraduate with is about $30,000. That's insane. That's a lot of money. And interest rates can go as high as 7% for government loans. So it's like, it's crazy. Like, how do we help these people? Like, how do we get them to start realizing, like, you know, you got to pay this off to create a world that makes sense for you financially.
And that's just like 4 years.
That's 4 years.
So like, then we add, say, master's on top of that. And then if you're a smarty pants and you're going to like med school and law school and all these other schools down the line, you're at over $100,000, maybe $200,000 in debt at that time, which is a house.
It's a house. It's insane. I mean, and the worst part about it is, like, you know, and I feel bad for this because, you know, what's the point in life? Like, you know, sometimes you meet somebody, you want to get married, you want to have a house, you want to have kids, but like a lot of people in our generation, they're not able to do that. They're pushing that back until far after they're 30 to just kind of be able to do it financially. You know, like, that's sad to me. Like, we're holding back this entire generation from being able to buy a house, start their life, have kids, get married. I mean, some people can't even, you know, afford to buy a ring because of these kind of loans. It's like, that's not right.
Yeah, no, I'm not ready to have kids at the current moment. To be honest, I'm not done with like my little party stage that I'm in. However, at this current stage, I don't think I'm financially stable to have a kid. Because that's like, what, $1 million per kid? Is that what the average, you know, when you search it up on the internet says?
That's what they say. And I believe it. I mean, kids are expensive. I mean, I'm expensive. So you know what I mean?
It's like, you're not done treating yourself yet. So I need to save for myself and then save to, you know, spill it on like my husband or wife or boyfriend, girlfriend, my partner, whomever. And then, you know, all the little minions, you know, running around.
That's right.
And I hear diapers are not cheap.
That's what they tell me.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah, I'm not ready yet. In the future, I'll use your app. I'll use DebtGo. Take away my car, because I bought a car. So like, take away my car, take away my house, and then, you know, then I'll pop out a kid. So I have the money.
That's the way to do it.
It's budgeting.
Budgeting 101, right?
There you go.
Nice work.
So Ernest, he can help you guys minimize your debt through DebtGo app, and you can go to the website too, which is debtgoapp.com, DebtGoapp.com. You can also follow on socials. You have Facebook, you have Twitter, DebtGo app, and then on Instagram, DebtGo_app. And Ernest, is there any last words or any words of wisdom and advice you'd like to leave the listeners with today?
Yeah, no, definitely. First of all, I just want to thank you for having me on the show today, for sure. And the last thing I want to say is kind of like, you know, with DebtGo, our whole mission, our whole goal is to end the world's debt crisis and create a financially literate society. And, you know, every time that someone uses the app, it adds to that and it creates this virtuous cycle. So it's more than just, you know, paying down your own debt. It's helping society as a whole become debt free, and it's a great thing to be a part of. And you know, that's why we're here. We're here to help people. We're here to create financially stable lives, and we're here to create a financially literate society. So, you know, anything we can do to do that, you know, feel free to reach out to us. Feel free to contact us for advice. We're always open to that. And, you know, again, that's what it's all about, helping people.
So launches September 2020 on the app stores. Again, Ernest will help you minimize your debt with the DebtGo app. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode of the Brand Ambassador Select podcast. I'm your host, Lenora, and we'll see you back next time.